breaking, Steve Scalise's condition just released by doctors. Last Wednesday, James T. Hodgkinson, a crazed Bernie Sanders supporter, opened fire on Republican Congressman playing baseball, critically injuring Louisiana Representative Steve Scalise. This shooting has stunned conservatives across the country as it puts into perspective how hateful the left has really become. For the last several days, we have all waited on medical updates on how Scalise is doing, and now we know how he is really doing. Representative Steve Scalise was one of the 5 men that was shot last week when a deranged gunman opened fire as the Republican baseball team practiced in Alexandria, Virginia. Scalise was shot in the hip and has undergone several surgeries since the shooting happened last Wednesday. Medstar Washington Hospital Center has been handling Scalise's care since the tragic shooting, and they just released his latest update. It seems that Scalise underwent another surgery yesterday and is making a turn for the better.Dr. Sava of Medstar Washington Hospital Center, who is treating Scalise, has upgraded his condition from critical to serious and is continuing to show signs of improvement. Dr. Sava also said that it's a good possibility that the Louisiana Republican will be able to return to work in his full capacity. Sava was unable to put a timeline together as to when Scalise will make a full recovery, but he feels that he is well on his way. The doctor also went on to explain how the bullet entered Scalise's hip, going right through his pelvis, shattering blood vessels, bones, and internal organs. Scalise was in shock and was suffering from internal bleeding when he arrived at the hospital. Thankfully, the hospital team was able to get that underway so that they could quickly operate on the number 3 House Republican. Here is more according to Fox News. Scalise's security detail and other police officers shot and killed the assailant, James Hodgkinson of Illinois, who had lashed out against President Donald Trump and other Republicans over social media. Sava said Friday that there are hundreds of bullet fragments in Scalise's body, but we have no intention to try and remove all the bullet fragments at this point. Nonetheless, said Sava, we fully expect him to be able to walk and hopefully run. Sava said that after being released from the hospital, Scalise will require a period of healing and rehabilitation. I feel a lot more confident and a lot more optimistic than I did 2-3 days ago, Sava said. I think that his risk of death right now is substantially lower than when he came in. He was as critical as you can do when he came in. Sava said he told Scalise's family that I am not declaring victory until he's playing ball in his backyard with his family. Suffering relatively minor injuries were 2 Capitol Police officers, David Bailey and Crystal Griner, and House GOP aide Zach Bartholomew. Griner remained hospitalized at Medstar Hospital after getting shot in the ankle, and Sava described her in good condition. Bailey was spotted Friday in the Capitol, on crutches and out of uniform, accepting congratulations from fellow officers. Lobbyist Matt Mika, who was shot multiple times and critically wounded, has undergone additional surgery and doctors expect a full recovery, his family said Saturday. Of course, this is fantastic news that Scalise is recovering so quickly, and I hope that the good news continues. However, it makes me wonder how many more violent acts will be committed by the tolerant left. We have heard over the last several months the left telling their rabid followers to resist the Trump administration. Not only that, top Democrats including Loretta Lynch has called for blood in the streets. Of course, James T. Hodgkinson is the one who committed this crime, but where did he get his orders? It is quite possible that Hodgkinson heard Lynch's call for blood in the streets and took it to heart. It does not take a seasoned detective to figure out that these Democrat leaders are the ones to blame. Representative Steve Scalise is a victim of the left's hatred and is sadly paying that price. If anyone deserves to see justice for what has been done in this country, it is Scalise. White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway summed up the shooter and this uncalled violence best: for those still wondering, he didn't hate baseball or beautiful summer mornings in June, he hated Republicans. In my opinion, top Democrats such as Loretta Lynch, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and anyone else who has called for violence against Republicans should be facing charges. This will not end until there are real consequences for their actions that they have caused. We cannot allow these people to continue to cause division and violence anymore, and we must hold these leaders accountable.